And today we're going to, what are we gonna do? We're gonna talk about updating fuck. Hello everyone, this is Mara Ranchi, brand strategist and founder of Manufacture, here today for another episode of Ambitions of an Agency. And today I'm just gonna give you a little bit of an update on exactly where we've been, where we're going, what have I been doing all this time, why are there no other videos on anything in regards to my other client projects. I'll explain all here what I've been doing for the last month of February and March of 2020. So in February, I was going through a very difficult time in my business, right? I was thinking I was gaining traction when I got this client, right? I was gaining traction. I got 2 clients under my belt. I was gaining traction, right? But what happened was I was getting on calls with a lot of these people, and first of all, I was targeting all the wrong people, right? So I had a blind optimism and passion for education, and as you can see, I do still have a blind optimism and passion for education, but it's more realistic, right? So what I was doing back in February, I was talking to all these educational consultants, people who want to work in schools or who want to work with schools, have contracts with schools, and work with those type of people, and get them into schools at the moment. Like, use the LinkedIn strategy I've used to get them into schools, basically. That was my whole shtick, my whole thing, and I was offering my services that way, because that's what I was doing with my other clients. I was like, okay, maybe I should just do that. But what happened was I was getting on these calls, and none of what they actually did were actually of value or didn't have any economic utility to people, to schools, to whatever, right? These were all grandiose ideas that they had, and they didn't actually have anything valuable. And so even if I were to work with them, I couldn't sell them on the fact, because they know that their services are shit. So if I tried to sell them marketing services or branding services, they would just understand that it's just putting, a nice dressing over a piece of shit, basically. So I fixed that as soon as I possibly could. I also hit a roadblock with most of my clients. I guess it's a massive failure, actually. So the first client I had, we did everything we possibly could to get them students, and it did not work out at all. Whether it was the messaging, whether it was the tactics I used or something just didn't work out in that project at all. And the client dropped me, basically. So that was one of them. And then the second thing is I'm working on with this other client, the educational consultant company and whatnot. And we're still working with that person. We got a few things on that. We got a few calls with, school principals and stuff like that, and so that is working more or less, right? Still not at the peak optimization point as it should be. So so I went through a couple of like product development issues and product development failures because I just couldn't create something that is ultimately performing as it should be, right? You would think, well, marketing and branding should be straightforward, right? It's like, well, I do this, I define the audience, and then I do that. It's like, no, it's not always as well defined as you believe it to be. And it's almost like, you have to get every single step right for it to work. You can't just skip one step or be sloppy on one step. So that causes a product development and fulfillment issue on my end, because I'm a service business. So therefore, I need to still provide a service and then give the result of said service. If I'm selling the invisible, with a few tangible aspects like marketing materials here and there, I still need to provide the result. And my services weren't doing that during that period of time in February. And I was just trying everything with everyone, and just trying to get a few more clients through the door. That also caused a sales bottleneck in my business as well, because if I don't have results to show, then how am I supposed to tell people that this is actually going to work, right? So I had to figure that out. And so what I did back while I was still working with the educational consultant client, and I had dropped the other tutoring client, what I did was that I immediately started to think, well, what did I do back then, trying to do when I did in real estate. I tried a guinea pig experiment, right? So my guinea pig experiment in real estate didn't work, but what if I could do this in education and in tutoring? Because if I have a shitty service and it doesn't provide the result it should have, then I should be the one to fix it, right? So I should go out and fix it. I saw, okay, let me just do this service as some sort of free experiment, right? Because that way there's no pressure on me to deliver anything, and I can experiment quickly and iterate quickly within a certain time period, right? And it really only took me 1 month to really work with one client, one guinea pig client, and get results for, so that I can use that as a marketing scheme, or use that as a testimonial, basically, or referral, basically. So yeah, it was good. It was a tutor in the UK. I got him. He was open to the whole thing. I got him through the whole thing. I went through the entire process, documented all the troubleshooting, the bottlenecks, everything. So I have a full list. I went out, I took a list of this whole process, and I actually will show you here, right here. Yeah. And so this whole list basically was so important, because that whole thing, what the hell? I'm gonna pull more door time. And so that whole thing basically was good, because I could experiment, and I could also see exactly what my whole process was like, right? So I did the whole guinea pig. I had so basically, if you want to think about all my clients as guinea pigs, my first guinea pig failed, my second guinea pig failed, and my third guinea pig finally survived the experiment. Yeah, and that's how it is in business sometimes, right? It's like third time's the charm. You don't know. But yeah, so my third guinea pig won, so to say, right? And so that's good to know. I worked with him in February. I worked with him in March, right? All the way through March, I built out everything, and he's getting results off the board. Raising his hourly rate. Stuff is really good.
It's a very rude awakening. Very, very rude awakening. Very rude. I can send you my PDF of this week's schedule. You're more than welcome to have a look at it, and it's made me list and then collect. I'll send it to you. I'm more than happy to be transparent about that. But I don't know, something has happened, and it's like you've unleashed my inner marketing beast.
Is the website generating leads for you, Rob?
It generated 2, and I'm pumping it out as like what you've handed me is like a tactical nuclear weapon. Mm-hmm. So I'm just using it as a bomb. I can't just explain the shift that's happened, and all the things I've been doing before. It's like things are beginning to coalesce. All the struggle, efforting, learning this skill, learning that skill. Now I can bring it to bear. The huge fortune of meeting yourself, and then you taking me through the process. You taking me through it was just all I had was 3 or 4 slots in my timetable. I've what's the word? I've downsized. There's a minimal amount. Minimal outgoings. So that I have, but even that wasn't being met. So December, January, February, awful, absolutely awful. Just about breaking even, no profit. So meeting you, there was a new leads which came on the website. Yeah, and thank you. I've doubled my hours. I've gone from three sessions to 6 sessions. My intention is to go from 6 to 12. So I've got, it's baby steps. And I've got zero tolerance, and my intention is to, work my way back up to 60. I'm happy with 60. I'm not happy with. I've got rid of the clients I said I would get rid of. I've gone from scarcity and survival into, well, I know I can survive for the next 3 or 4 months. My bills will be paid, and I've downsized and minimised my outgoings. So I'm babbling, but I can't thank you enough. It's shifted, and it's from 3 to 6, and now the project is from 6 to 12. I want to keep on doubling. Yeah, have it be exponential growth.
Do so much in such little time. When you think about, as a designer, how do you change a business? Well, that's how you do it, right? This guy's a small business, but it's like I've changed his business. He has more money in his bank. He's impacting more students. People are coming to him. He's grown in demand all of a sudden just by a tweak in the messaging and the way of doing things differently. And that's how it should be done. That should have been the impact of branding and the thing that, creatives should be chasing instead of fucking awards or this or that. They shouldn't be chasing that. They should be chasing this sort of thing because it's actual impact. Like when you think about it, I may not think of it as much at the moment, but what I essentially did is I helped, parents who are struggling in this aspect and these kids that are struggling in this aspect. I helped them connect to a person of value and knowledge. And to some degree, they were able to change their lives completely. Whether if they go to a school or not, they got taught by a valuable, knowledgeable person in the certain subject matter. And that is important. Because if the school system fails, the tutors pick up the slack. And in this case, if this tutor picks up the slack for where the education system fails, then I've impacted at least 5 or 7 students' lives just by directing them to a valuable source of knowledge and education. So it's just mind-blowing to think that that is something that can happen, and that is something I was able to do, that all the work I've been doing paid off at the end, that I went through a few more failures, because that's how it is, I think, really, when you're going through something called, again, I think I talked about this in a previous video, but you have to think about it as slowly, fixing things that are not working, right? So in entrepreneurship, you probably have every tool you need, but what will happen is that you'll go out there and you'll have maybe marketing, product development, or whatever, and you'll have those 3 things, and one of them is going to fail. Okay, marketing's failing. Why is marketing failing? Ah, shit, marketing's failing. Okay, let's fix marketing. Oh, nope, product development's failing. Oh, no, what are we doing? Fix product development. Distribution's failing. Why the hell I can't get enough people? Oh, well, it's failing, right? So you have to fix those things quickly, right? So you're taking off of a shitty plane, really, and you're fixing all these things while in the air, right? Because as you launch, you get the feedback that you need to actually fix all the things that you need to fix, right? So being able to do that and being able to fix that bottleneck of product fulfillment, especially in a service business, which is so important, I'm really confident now that I have something here that will actually work, that will actually provide, clients value, and I'm going to push forward more than ever now with my services. And for me, the coronavirus has catalyzed my business immensely. The demand for my services have skyrocketed by no stretch of the imagination. It's only because of course the system was already failing anyway, so this just amplified the problem of what the system really had and the issues that it had. And so tutoring market booms, my services boom. That's how it works. And I've been working on this since August 2019. August 2019. For a long time, I ate shit, and now, because of this catalyst, I'm going to reap the rewards of this. So yeah, I guess the thing is that what I've gone through is what Seth Godin calls in his book the dip, right? Do you know? I think what the dip is. The dip is basically the period of time where you figure out that you're really knowledgeable about something, or you're semi-knowledgeable about something, and then suddenly you go down in confidence and skill level suddenly, all of a sudden, right? Because if you reach the high stage, which is where the Dunning-Kruger effect is, which is basically if you know a very little about your industry, you usually are overconfident about it. So you hit the Dunning-Kruger effect, you go down, then you get to the dip. The dip is where people really suffer in because they don't know when this dip is going to end, right? They think, God, what is this thing, right? It's literally, I think it's what I described in my other previous video, the uncertainty, the adversity, that probably is exactly what the dip feels like. That is the thing that I was going through in regards to service development and product development and service fulfillment all the way through, right? Why wasn't my skills good enough? Why couldn't I get clients results? Dip, 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 dip. And so, but the whole point of the dip is that you have everything you need, you have all the resources, you just need to fix tiny bits of it and keep going through it until you go back up, right? So you get through the dip and you get back up to the expert level. That's where you reach to the point of some sort of mastery, of some sort of skill set, right? You start going through the dip, and then suddenly something happens, right? A success happens. It's like, and it comes out of the blue sometimes. But the whole thing is to be involved in the process so that when it happens, it just happens, right? It happens as a byproduct of it, right? It's like I want to say in one of my other videos, is like, you know, you'll be a success one day, and it will look like it was just yesterday that you were suffering, right? And now you're fucking famous, and now you're this and all this stuff like that. That's what I said in one of my videos. That's exactly what it is, because you don't really know when that success is going to happen. You just need to take yourself through the dip as much as you possibly can, and then skyrocket, right? And then use all your resources to get through the dip, right? Mentors, resources, books, knowledge, everything, skill sets, everything you need. It's exciting times for my business, exciting times for businesses in general. You know, this was an opportunity for me because I really thought, you know, it was good that the whole world kind of slowed down so I could catch up. I was really feeling behind in a lot of stuff, right? And I felt I can't catch up. I cannot catch up. But I'm glad that in a way that it's kind of like it slowed down just so that I could catch up. That was a good one. Yeah, so that's it. You want to subscribe, notifications, YouTube stuff, all this stuff that gets me views and comments is great. So go and do that. And even, leave your comments below, because I also like to just, engage in comments as well. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one.